so obviously, why do I keep saying I definitely recommend this book after every book. Obviously, if it's in the video, I recommend it. Duh, Shantelle. Oh my god.
Butterflies when I go to sleep at night.
Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be filming a book recommendations video. I love talking about books, as you guys know, so I thought I'd film another one. I have one other book recommendations video on my channel, but that was just like a general romance recommendations. This one I'm going to be focusing on a specific trope, and that trope is fake dating. This is one of my favorite tropes. It's not like my all-time favorite, but it is one that I do enjoy, and so I thought I would tell you guys my recommendations for this trope. Let's just get into the recommendations. Okay, so the first book that I'm going to be recommending is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This is the first book in the Off-Campus series. I'm not going to talk too much about this book just because it's very popular and everyone, like, pretty much everyone has read it, but I am obsessed. And if you haven't read the Off-Campus series, read it and read the spin-off, which is the Bride You series. I'm obsessed. Garrett Graham he's up there in the list of, he's high up there in my book boyfriends. I'm obsessed with him. Anyway, basically this book follows Hannah and Garrett, and Hannah is really into this guy Justin and wants to get his attention, but they don't really talk all that much, and so Garrett sees this. He needs help with the class that he's failing, that Hannah is in, and Hannah's very good at this class, and so I can't remember what the class is. But anyway, and so Garrett goes to Hannah, can you help me, like tutor me for this class, and I'll help you get Justin. And Hannah's like, no. At first she's like, no, absolutely not, and then Garrett is very persistent and he eventually wears her down and she agrees, and they make a deal. He'll help her get Justin and Hannah will help Garrett pass his class. Yeah, so they start fake dating, and then, you know, things happen slowly. Hannah starts to realize that maybe Justin isn't the guy that she wants after all, and yeah, things go from there. There is a trigger warning for sexual assault. I'm just gonna put that out there. If that is triggering for you, then maybe don't read this book. Yeah, very good book, definitely recommend, and the whole series is so good. I love every single one of the books and every single one of the books in the spin-off series, which brings us to our next book, which is The Dare by Elle Kennedy. This is the fourth book in the Bride You series, and this is my favorite book. I'm obsessed. Connor Edwards is literally one of my, like, in my top two book boyfriends, him and Ridge Lawson from Maybe Someday. Anyway, I'm obsessed with this book. It's so good. Basically, this follows Taylor and Connor. Taylor is in the sorority, and at this party they play a game of Dare or Dare. She hates it, but they always give her dares, and so they dare her to seduce the hottest new hockey player in their junior class, which is Connor. And so she goes up to him and she's like, hey, like, can you just like come upstairs with me and, you know, pretend we're doing stuff? And he goes, yeah, sure, why not? And so they go upstairs, nothing happens, they just talk, and Connor is an absolute gentleman. I love him so much. Anyway, I'm a little bit obsessed, but Connor decides that why don't they fake date? Because Connor is basically sick of all these girls just like throwing themselves at him and like treating him like he's just like a piece of meat, and they just want him for his dick essentially. Like, they don't want him for, like, they don't want to get to know him or like anything like that, and so he's kind of sick of it. And yeah, he's a player, but like he's getting over it now, and so he's like, why don't we fake date? It'll get the girls off my back, it'll get the mean girls in your sorority to leave you alone. And yeah, so they make this deal to fake date, and things go from there. And I just love Connor so much, and I definitely recommend this book and every book in this series, the Bride You series, which is a spin-off of Campus, like I said. Every book in the series is so good, and I'm obsessed with all of them. There also is another, The Risk, which is the second book, which is also a fake dating trope. It's enemies to lovers and fake dating, but I thought I didn't want to recommend too many books from like the same series. So yeah, that one is also fake dating, which I definitely recommend you guys read as well. I love that book too. So yeah, so the next book I'm going to be recommending is Not Pretending Anymore by Vi Keelan and Penelope Ward. This is their most recent release and I love this book. It's so good. It's very fast paced, easy to read, quick, like all of their books, and I love Vi Keelan and Penelope Ward's writing, and when they I love their books that they've written on their own, but when they co-write together, all their books are so good, and I've pretty much read all of them, like all the ones that they've co-written except for one, I think, and I love every single one of them. So this book follows Declan and Molly, and Molly is looking for a new roommate, and she only wants a female roommate because that's what she would feel most comfortable with, and so she's conducting a bunch of interviews to interview the potential candidates for her new roommate. And her last interview for the day, she obviously thinks it's going to be a female, but it turns out that it's Declan, and she's very confused at first. She's like, wait, what? Like, and he's like, yes, I know I am a guy, but give me 5 minutes to convince you that I will be the best roommate for you. And he basically goes listing a bunch of reasons on why he would be a good roommate, and Molly's like, no. No, I'm sorry, but no. And he's like, all right, fine, like, thank you for your time. But he really needs a place to stay, and this apartment is really convenient for him because it's close to his work, but it's like the perfect apartment for him. So he goes and tries to convince Molly to let him move in, and he sends cupcakes to her door, I think. And she eventually is like, okay, fine, like, you can move in, but we've got to settle these ground rules, blah, 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 blah. And they become really good friends. So it is also friends to lovers and, you know, like a roommate trope as well. But yeah, they become like best friends. Declan likes this girl at his work, and Molly has a big crush on this guy that she works with. And so Declan comes up with this idea, why don't they start fake dating to try and, you know, essentially make their respective crushes jealous, and so they can get the people that they want to be with. And so they fake dating, and then eventually they do get the people that they want to be with, but they both realize that maybe the people that they thought they wanted aren't really the people that they want anymore, and things go from there. And this is such a good book. I think I read it in like one day, like one sitting, I think, and it was amazing. It is so frustrating, but in the best way. Like, you just want these two characters to be together, but things keep getting in the way, and it's so frustrating. Like, this happens and that happens, and it's like, oh my god, like, just let them be together. But like, it's so good. So good. And Declan is the sweetest. I actually am obsessed with him. He's so sweet. He's such a sweetheart, a kind-hearted guy, and he's literally the nicest person. I love him so much. So the last book that I'm going to be recommending in this video is The Relationship Pact by Adriana Locke. I think that's how you say it. I'm not really sure. This is the third book in a series. They're companion novels. You can read each book on their own, but they are part of a series. I definitely recommend the whole series. So good. Basically, there's these 3 best friends, and each book follows a different friend, and they're each written by different authors, which I don't know how I felt about it at the start, but turns out that all the books are actually really good. The first book is definitely my favorite though, but besides the point. We're talking about the last book, The Relationship Pact. This follows Larissa and Hollis, and Larissa goes to this bar with her best friend, and then she sees that her ex is there. Her ex is an absolute asshole. He is the worst guy. He's so rude, and he has a new girlfriend, and he essentially wants to rub it into Larissa's face. And Larissa's like panicking. She's like, oh my god, like, what am I gonna do? And she goes up to the bar. She turns and she sees Hollis, and she's like, oh my god, this guy is so beautiful. And then she's like, hey, do you mind just being my fake boyfriend for like 5 minutes? And Hollis is like, yeah, sure. And so they pretend to be dating in front of her ex, and then I think that I'm not sure if they like exchange numbers and like stay in contact, or if they like, she's like, yeah, thanks, and then see you later, and then they meet again later on. It's been a while since I read this one, I can't remember. But eventually they decide to meet up again because Hollis needs a fake girlfriend for this dinner that he has to go to, and Larissa actually needs a date for this charity event that she has to go to. And so they decide to make this relationship pact, and they are going to help each other out and be each other's fake dates. Well, they're going to be in a fake relationship to go to these events that they need to go to together. They have one rule: don't fall in love. So yeah, they do this, and then they decide that they're just gonna keep fake dating. Like, they become really good friends, and then slowly they realize that, you know, they're breaking the pact and falling in love, and it's so good, and I'm obsessed. I will, however, say I didn't love the ending, which I was really disappointed about, because I loved this whole book, and Hollis is like the sweetest character. And I liked how the book like ended, as in like last chapter, but I didn't like the epilogue. I didn't like how the epilogue ended. But like, that aside, it is a very, very good book, and I definitely recommend you guys read every book in this series. The first book's Enemies to Lovers, the second book's Friends to Lovers, and that brings us to the end of this recommendations video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more book recommendation videos, let me know what tropes you guys want to see, and I can be sure to do that. And if you guys have any book recommendations for me, let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking for new books to read. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.
You're the reason why I can feel those butterflies when I go to sleep at night.